Hey, what is up, everybody? SummerSlam 2012 is in the history books, and I'm going to say this right now. I really enjoyed the show. I'm not sure what you guys thought about it, but to me, this was a great SummerSlam. Things happened that I was not expecting, and I'm glad they went the way they did. But, let's not waste any more time. Actually, let's waste a little more time. Before I get to the review, I want to talk about a couple things that I noticed. Number one being the fact that CM Punk was wearing pink tonight. So that's a common trend now in the WWE. You have, Damian Sandow wearing pink and lavender, and you have Dolph Ziggler with his new turquoise and pink shirt. So I guess all these guys are trying to say that, yeah, real men do wear pink. And what about the superhero themed wrestling gear that we saw R-Truth and Kofi Kingston wearing? They had a Superman theme with the red and blue and with the Superman shield on their apparel. It was kind of cool. And also Rey Mysterio coming out dressed like Batman. That was really cool. Okay, but enough about that. Let's get to the review. We had the pre-show match. The United States Championship is on the line. Antonio Cesaro going for his first major WWE title up against Santino Marella, and this match went exactly the way I thought. Unfortunately, though, the match was kind of a joke. It got 5 minutes, and the whole focus of this match was on the Cobra sock that Santino puts on his arm when he does his little Cobra finisher. Uh, you know, I'm glad that Antonio Cesaro won the match. That's all I'm going to say. The match was just okay. It was funny, I guess, because Antonio Cesaro grabs the little Cobra sock, he rips it up, but of course Santino has another one on standby. He pulls it out of his ass, and then he gets distracted by Oksana, and as he gets distracted by Oksana, Cesaro's able to hit him with his finisher. He gets the 1, 2, 3, and now Antonio Cesaro is the new United States champion. That's cool, but the match itself sucked. So now we get to the opening of the pay-per-view, and Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho opened the show, and man, what a great choice. I was thinking this match would be later on in the card, but you knew for a fact that with these two guys you were going to get a great match, and that's exactly what happened. So I can see exactly why the WWE put this match on first, and it was a damn good opening match. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of crazy shit going on. I loved the Hurricanrana from the top rope that Jericho gave Ziggler. I thought that was epic. This match went back and forth. These guys were just kicking each other's asses left and right. Some false finishers, people kicking out of their own finisher. I thought it was great. Near falls. Dolph Ziggler, he does model himself, I guess, a little bit after Ravishing Rick Rude, and he did the Rude Awakening today, and just like Ravishing Rick Rude, he swiveled his hips right as he hit the move. I thought that was kind of cool. It was a great little tribute, I guess. But, Ziggler taps out to the Walls of Jericho, and I loved it because it was the old school Walls of Jericho, that Walls of Jericho that he's been doing the last couple of weeks where he drives the knee into the back of the neck. Oh, it was awesome. But Chris Jericho does indeed win the match. I was happy as hell to see that. I figured that's the way it would go down, and it did just that. And it was a great way to start the show. Next up was Daniel Bryan and Kane, the only match that I was racking my head on who would win because it could go either way. And it went the opposite way that I predicted. I thought Kane would surely win just because Daniel Bryan's losing streak. But I guess his losing streak finally came to an end. And what better way for it to end than at SummerSlam? That's a big win. He beats Kane. Pretty good match. I will say this. I was thinking they would put on a good match, and they did just that. The only downer, though, was the finish. He wins with the roll-up. That was kind of a weak finish in my book, but the match was still good. Of course, after the match, Kane is pissed, and he goes on a tirade. He goes to the back and just starts throwing shit left and right. And yeah, it wasn't looking good for anybody in the back. And I will say this though, one of the nice things about the match, the Daniel Bryan goes off the top rope with a flying Chris Benoit headbutt. And as he comes down to land on Kane, Kane's laying on his back. Kane puts his hand up and he grabs him by the neck. He stands up and then he hits him with the choke slam. I thought that was a really nice little spot in the match. But other than that, it was a good match. Daniel Bryan picks up the win, and I'm cool with that. The match only got about 8 minutes. It would have been nice to have seen a longer match, but that's that. Next up, we get to the Intercontinental title match. Rey Mysterio, The Miz, and of course, just like I said, Rey Mysterio comes dressed out like Batman. So he's been Captain America, he's been the Flash, he's been the Joker, and now he's Batman. I love it. I guess Rey Mysterio is a comic book fan, and I'm cool with that as well. But this was a good little match. Back and forth, near falls. And I gotta say, Miz looks great in the match. He dominates pretty much the whole match. And what does he do? He beats Rey Mysterio with the skull crushing finale. And I was so happy to see Miz successfully defend the IC title, because that's what he had to do. The Miz is on a little roll now. He's getting a lot more respect than what he was getting all those months ago. And it's great to see. Next up, we had the World Heavyweight Championship match. ADR going up against Sheamus. And wow, this was a great match. I loved the aggressiveness that these two guys started with the match. It was just a pure fight between these two, back and forth. I mean, the match started out, on the outside of the ring, which was great, because these guys just totally tore into each other. And a lot of near falls. We saw Alberto Del Rio put the armbar submission hold on Sheamus, and Sheamus powers out of it. Sheamus gives Alberto Del Rio the white noise, and he kicks out. I mean, it was an exciting match, and, you really didn't know how the match was going to go at first, but finally, when it was all said and done, Ricardo Rodriguez somehow gets his way into the match. Alberto Del Rio, he's frustrated. He slaps Ricardo around. So Ricardo tries to help. He throws him a shoe, but Alberto can't catch it. Sheamus catches it. He hits Alberto with it, and then he pins him. But of course, Alberto Del Rio's close to the ropes, and he puts his foot on the rope, so that should have stopped the pinfall. But what does Sheamus do? He grabs the leg off the rope. The ref doesn't see it. Sheamus gets the 1, 2, 3. And you know what? I did like that finish. I thought that was a pretty cool way to finish the match. It was a great match. Sheamus is still the World Heavyweight Champion, and I was happy to see that. Next up, we got the tag team titles on the line. Primetime Players against Kofi and R-Truth. This is probably the worst match of the night. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it really wasn't all that great either. There just wasn't much going on with this match. R-Truth and Kofi, they win yet again. R-Truth hits his finisher on Young, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. So that's that. Next, we have the triple threat for the WWE Championship. Now, a lot of people probably aren't going to like this match, but I thought it was a pretty damn good match, especially because CM Punk retains the title and he gets the win. It was a great match in my book. Big Show, I knew he wasn't going to win, but they booked the match well for him. Big Show dominated pretty much the whole match. I mean, he really did. He looked like a giant. I mean, he looked exactly the way he should, like a dominating figure. And CM Punk and John Cena were trying to get this big giant off his feet, but everything they did wouldn't do anything. He was blocking everything. He was showing his strength. He was just doing a great job. And basically what happened is that CM Punk puts a submission hold on the Big Show, and John Cena comes right behind him, and he applies the STF. So you've got CM Punk and John Cena with a submission hold on the Big Show at the exact same time, and the Big Show taps. So the ref rings for the bell. Of course, you don't know who the winner is, so what happens? AJ comes out. She basically just restarts the match. The match goes on for another few minutes. John Cena hits the AA on the Big Show. He's getting ready to go for the pin, and Punk just shoves Cena outside of the ropes and onto the floor. He steals the 1, 2, 3. He gets the win, and I liked it. I liked the finish. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was great. And Punk's still the champ. I'm happy about that. He's going towards that 1-year title reign, and he's just one step closer. But in my book, that was a pretty good match. So I guess I guess they were just trying to stall time after this match to set up for the Kevin Rudolph performance, which, by the way, sucked major balls. And basically, the camera started panning the crowd for all the celebrities. And they put the camera right smack dab on Fred Durst. And first and foremost, I was shocked to see Fred Durst on camera. Where the hell has he been? He hasn't been anywhere. We finally see a Fred Durst sighting. And what does he do? He just flips the bird to everybody watching at home. It was freaking awesome. I loved it. And then after seeing the Kevin Rudolph performance, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I can see why Fred Durst flicked the camera off. Because, I mean, Kevin Rudolph sucked balls. His performance was horrible. All the divas come out whoring around on the stage with him. And it was just a big waste of my time. I couldn't wait for that performance to be over, and luckily it was, and we got to the main event, Brock Lesnar and Triple H. Wow. This was a great match. I really enjoyed it. This was the longest match of the night. It almost got 20 minutes. It got 19. I was cool with that. And this match just basically started like it was going to. Just a full-fledged fight, just a knockdown, drag-out fight. And it was very good, I thought. These guys just went back and forth. It wasn't a dominating match between either of these guys. These guys just went back and forth. The Extreme Rules pay-per-view match with John Cena and Brock, that was one-sided from the beginning to the end. And this match wasn't like that. They were just basically beating the shit out of each other. Of course, Brock Lesnar kept putting Triple H in the corner and was giving the shoulder blocks, which was good, I guess. And he kept going for the Kimura lock, which was, I guess that was all he could remember, but we saw a couple suplexes here and there, but it wasn't a wrestling match, it was just a fight. That's what we saw. And he almost thought Triple H was going to win the match. He hit the pedigree, but Brock kicks out. Brock hits the F5 on Triple H. Triple H kicks out, so false finishers were everywhere. Triple H, though, hits another pedigree, and I was like, oh my God, here's the finish. He's going to pin him right here and there. But he hits that second pedigree, he's going for the pin, and Brock Lesnar somehow is able to put the Kimura lock on Triple H. And what happens? Something that I wasn't expecting whatsoever. A tap out. Triple H taps out. I mean, it's one thing that Triple H actually puts Brock Lesnar over, but to actually tap out, wow. I mean, I get it. Brock Lesnar is a submission fighter. It makes sense, but man, I was not expecting that whatsoever. So Triple H loses. Brock Lesnar wins. He leaves. The music goes off, so Triple H is left in the ring, and he's just basically apologizing. He keeps going. He keeps going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The crowd starts chanting, "You tapped out," and I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome." And then he just apologizes over and over and over again as he's walking out. He pats this kid on the head and goes, "I'm sorry, buddy. I tried." I couldn't help but laugh. It was funny. So it's interesting to see how this is going to play out tomorrow night on Raw, but I gotta say, I thought SummerSlam was very enjoyable. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. What did you like? What did you dislike? I'm Gold Dizzy. Peace out, everybody.